this video, we will delve a little deeper into Psalm 74. O God, why hast thou cast us off forever? Why doth thine anger smoke against the sheep of thy pasture? Remember thy congregation, which thou hast purchased of old, the rod of thine inheritance, which thou hast redeemed, this Mount Zion, wherein thou hast dwelt. Lift up thy feet unto the perpetual desolations, even all that the enemy hath done wickedly in the sanctuary. Thine enemies roar in the midst of thy congregations. They set up their ensigns for signs. A man was famous, according as he had lifted up axes upon the thick trees. But now they break down the carved work thereof at once with axes and hammers. They have cast fire into thy sanctuary. They have defiled by casting down the dwelling place of thy name to the ground. They said in their hearts, let us destroy them together. They have burned up all the synagogues of God in the land. We see not our signs. There is no more any prophet, neither is there among us any that knoweth how long. O God, how long shall the adversary reproach? Shall the enemy blaspheme thy name forever? Why withdrawest thou thy hand, even thy right hand? Pluck it out of thy bosom. For God is my King of old, working salvation in the midst of the earth. Thou didst divide the sea by thy strength. Thou breakest the heads of the dragons in the waters. Thou breakest the heads of Leviathan in pieces, and gavest him to be meat to the people inhabiting the wilderness. Thou didst cleave the fountain and the flood. Thou driedst up mighty rivers. The day is thine, the night also is thine. Thou hast prepared the light and the sun. Thou hast set all the borders of the earth. Thou hast made summer and winter. Remember this, that the enemy hath reproached, O Lord, and that the foolish people have blasphemed thy name. O deliver not the soul of thy turtle dove unto the multitude of the wicked. Forget not the congregation of thy poor forever. Have respect unto the covenant, for the dark places of the earth are full of the habitations of cruelty. O let not the oppressed return ashamed. Let the poor and needy praise thy name. Arise, O God, plead thine own cause. Remember how the foolish man reproacheth thee daily. Forget not the voice of thine enemies. The tumult of those that rise up against thee increaseth continually. But what would the Lord like to teach us? Psalm 74 is a passionate prayer from the midst of devastation. It teaches us that even when it feels like God is silent or distant, we can still cry out in faith, recount his past deeds, and ask for restoration. The psalmist doesn't deny the pain, but in it, he holds on to the memory of God's power and covenant love. Verses 1 to 3. The psalmist begins with deep sorrow. O God, why hast thou cast us off forever? It's a desperate cry from a people who feel abandoned, their sanctuary destroyed, and their enemies triumphant. The psalmist urges God to remember his congregation, the people he redeemed, and the holy place where he once dwelt. Verses 4 to 11. The enemy has invaded God's temple, desecrating what was sacred. They destroy every carved work with axes and hammers, setting fire to the sanctuary. The psalmist is heartbroken, not just by physical destruction, but by the mockery of God and the apparent absence of any prophetic voice or divine intervention. Verses 12-17. Despite the despair, the psalmist shifts focus to God's might and past victories, for God is my King of old, working salvation in the midst of the earth. He recalls how God split the sea, crushed sea monsters symbolic of chaos or evil, and set the boundaries of creation. These verses show a deliberate choice to anchor hope in God's unchanging power and past faithfulness. Verses 18 to 23. The psalmist ends with a renewed call for God to rise up and defend his cause. Arise, O God, plead thine own cause. He asks God not to forget the enemy's insults or the voices of the wicked. It is a prayer born from suffering, yet filled with determination to see God's justice and glory restored. When life seems broken beyond repair, let your pain lead you to prayer. Like the psalmist, you can mourn, remember, and hope all at once, trusting that the God of old still defends, restores, and reigns.